Shabbat Shalom. Well, technically it ain't Shabbat, but Shalom nonetheless. I'm coming to you from a top secret location in the middle of nowheres in a camper van in the beginnings of Tabernacles. I was sitting here thinking about things in the world. And I thought about sheep. I thought about goats. I thought about wolves. I thought about shepherds. I thought about the world calling so many people sheeple. I thought about false prophets. The world is covered in sheep. There are sheep everywhere. And before you start thinking that I'm talking one way and meaning certain things, I'm using biblical definitions by what the Bible says are sheep, goats, wolves, and different things. Not as much the world's concept of sheep and goats and different things. So take that into consideration. You may not understand what I'm saying unless you have a certain biblical understandings. I don't know. Anyways, the world's covered in sheep. And then there are goats, which for the definition of this is basically, goats are those who've sold out to the wolves. And then you have the wolves. We all know who the wolves are. They're of their father. To kill, lie, destroy. The goats, if you have no idea, look up Judas goats. They work at the meat house. You can figure out what they do really quick. It doesn't take much. But that's their job. They work for the wolves, making sure the sheep go where they're supposed to go. But see, we have a shepherd. As a believer in Messiah, we all have a shepherd. And we hear his voice. It's in his book. It tells us what we're supposed to do. It tells us where we're supposed to go, how we should act. And things tend to follow the plan that he has laid forth. There's a lot of goats in the world these days. And those goats have the charge to take the sheep, move the sheep through whatever means necessary, force, fear, bribery, whatever necessary, to move the sheep into the places that the wolves want them at the time and slaughter them. Because the sheep have righteousness. They're salvational. They haven't sold their soul. The goats, on the other hand, well, they don't. Well, they have salvation if they would choose it, but they won't. They've made their deal. They like where they're at. They believe they're on the right side. But here's the thing. If the goats do not move the sheep into the locations that the wolves want the sheep, the problem is you run into is the wolves don't care. The wolves don't care about you as a goat. The wolves don't care about you as a sheep. The wolves want fed. and the wolves don't care to eat a goat. The only thing you're truly doing as a goat is you're prolonging. You're placing your fellow sheep in front of you in the line to the slaughterhouse. But eventually, they'll kill you too as a goat. So that's something you must consider if you are, unfortunately, a goat. Sheep, well, we're all over the place. There's a lot of sheep. Not all of us have shepherds. We all belong to the shepherd. He bought us. He paid a high price for us. But some of the sheep are running around wild out here, doing whatever in the world they want to do. They have no interest in listening to the shepherd. They have no interest in listening to their fellow sheep. They have no interest in doing anything that they're supposed to do, but they're more interested in what they're doing or what the goats are doing, or getting themselves in all sorts of trouble. So the master has to keep looking for them, trying to find them. And sometimes they'll come in, sometimes they won't. For the ones that have the master, has the shepherd, well, we're supposed to follow him, and he'll make sure that we are where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there. If we're supposed to be in the green pasture, we're in the green pasture. If we're supposed to be in the forest, we're in the forest. Sometimes we're in the barn, even though we don't want to be in the barn. But that's where we're supposed to be. Sometimes we're in our fenced-in area. And it's not that he's trying to prevent us from going out and playing in the nice green pasture. It's that he's trying to prevent us from going out and getting deceived by the goats or eaten by the wolves. It's an aspect of love. He loves his flock, and he'll protect his flock. He's already died for his flock. And in that fateful day, when he returns, he's going to kill all the wolves. He's going to destroy them all. And then he's going to take and he's going to separate his sheep from the goats. And the sheep he's going to place in his pastures, never to be harmed, never to be hurt, never to be attacked by the wolves or deceived by the goats. And for the goats, I'm sorry to say, he's going to cast you out because you were rebellious. You chose to serve the enemy instead of serve him. The blood on your hands from all the innocent sheep that you have helped to destroy, that you have deceived, takes you away from that nice pasture. These are the choices that we lay before us. We have the ability, all of us have the ability to follow the master, to follow our shepherd, to listen to him, to read his word, and do what it says, not what man says. Because sadly, there's a lot of goats in churches. There's a lot of goats on TV. Your neighbor may be a goat. You just got to be careful. And the only way you can tell which one is a goat and which one is a sheep, who is the master who is the wolves, is by reading that book. Reading the book that he has gave us, his word, because his sheep hear his voice. His sheep can understand his words. And the only way you can understand his words is by listening to his book. Now, yeah, you could take all the aspects that you want and say, oh, well, this or that, or you can't believe this, you can't believe that. You can make your own decisions. We have free will. That is part of it. But the choices that we make will make the huge difference on if we enter into that pasture land and never have to worry about being consumed by the predator. Or if we find ourselves in the situation that we are thrown into the pit and barbecued. Choice is yours. But I come to you on this beautiful day to tell you the Master loves you. He wishes you to follow him. If you choose not to, he's not going to force you. He's not going to force you to follow him. It's your free will. But the choices you make have consequences and blessings. If you do what you're supposed to do in life, not much different. If you do bad things to people, bad things tend to happen to you. If you do good things to people, good things tend to happen to you. Just typically how that works. So, I know this is a little different than what I normally put out here. But figured maybe somebody out there was interested in hearing this. If you're interested, it's a lot of fun doing the biblical feast days. It's a lot of fun doing what the book says. And typically, when you do what the book says, blessings come upon you. Trials come on you too. But it usually all ends up coming out to being good. Each his own. Choose your choice. I love yous. God bless. Shalom. If you're doing tabernacles, happy tabernacles. And see you later.